Hey, girlfriends, and to everybody else, what up, YouTube? So, my name is Kendall D, and welcome back to another episode of Kendall Says. So, I'm going to drop some information for you about myself. That's my IG that you just saw. I have 96,000 followers on there, and it's growing. And I talk a lot about different things on there. I also have a TikTok, check it out. I also have a website where you can find my books and you can contact me for business inquiries, and you can also find my girlfriend membership on there where you can get coaching, one-on-one coaching done as well. So y'all, without further ado, let me first play some clips about what I'm going to be talking about. You may be familiar with Jasmine Brown, or aka WatchJazzy on Instagram. She's a comedian. She does a lot of funny, different stand-ups. I think she does stand-up comedy. She does a lot of different funny videos. You may have seen her on the gram being funny. She gets hilarious. I love her. She has millions of followers. So this is a different side of her where she's actually talking about her romantic relationship and how she is in her romantic relationship. And I'll be honest, when I first heard the clip, I saw it on Instagram. It's blowing up. It's almost halfway there of 1 million views and likes. So I was taken aback a bit because I'm like, this is Jasmine, Jazzy. She's funny and seems to be, the type to not be submissive, so to speak. But I'm going to let you all hear two clips first. And then I'm going to give my takes and share some more from the actual full podcast, because I did go ahead and listen to the full podcast. So I almost didn't, because I wanted to make sure that I was coming from a place of full understanding where she was coming from. I wanted to be open-minded. I wanted to have open ears, because as you know me, if you follow me on Instagram, you know me and how I do not bash anybody, especially not women. I'm not here for the bashing. I may bash males that ain't shit, to be honest. But I'm not going to bash a woman for her choice in anything. And so, although her perspective is a lot different than mine, and what I don't say what I coach, but what I believe in, I should say. It was interesting to hear, and I'm going to give my thoughts on it. I want you all to just listen up. This one is going to be an interesting one. Please listen with open ears and an open mind, regardless of what your stance is on submissiveness and being submissive to your man or partner. So, without further ado, let me just go ahead and play two clips for you.
So in your romantic partnership, you baby, you are a servant to, you are a lover, you want to be a step ahead. Why are you laughing?
These because it sounds insane. Because I know it is my words, but it sounds crazy. Relationships and submission and being submissive is like, it's like an 8 count. Know that dance. You better know that 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, dishes clean. 2.
What does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
Like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you and I study you, like I know how you are in the morning, I know how you are about midday, I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled. And when I talk to my girlfriends about it, I was like, oh, how you guys doing? And I'm just like, girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like, he's rotten. But I love that. Like, I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. And I've been known to love people back to health. And sometimes it's very draining. But my love is my superpower. And I used to hate that about myself. But now it's like, I'm just embracing it. Like, that's who I am. Like, if I love you, I can heal you.
It's your joy.
It is my joy. I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest, So know what that means. And that works for us because he wants what I have to offer.
What are you getting from all that you're giving? What are you asking for in return?
So, as you can see, well, you know what? It was heavy for me to listen to. And I listened to the whole thing, and I'm going to be sharing some clips of some questions that you may be asking as well. Because the first question that came to my mind is what she asked, what the podcast host, I think her name, I think it's pronounced Sean. It's spelled Shan, but I think it's Sean. But but yeah, she asked at the end of that last clip, what are you getting in return? That's what I wanted to know. That's the question that came into my head. I'm listening to this and I'm like, wow. Because I don't like to give judgment based off just like a 30-second or a minute clip or whatever. So I want to listen to the whole thing. Like, it was like an hour long. I listened to the whole entire thing. And I weeped on some parts. I'm going to play some parts for you so that you can hear what I'm talking about and why I'm gathering what I'm gathering. And I'm not in the business of judging a woman for doing how she wants to do, but I can say that a lot of what I heard was someone that was, first of all, taught to be this way because she said her mom was that way. She watched her mom serve, and that's what she just knew. And then she went on ahead to say that, in the past she was manipulated and taken advantage of, and that she was trying to be this person, and she felt like that since she couldn't get the love that she wanted, she decided to just give love. And I'm gonna just let y'all hear it, because some of the stuff that I listen to, she sounds happy to be this way, and then on the other hand, sometimes I felt a little sadness in her voice. I wish I could see the actual full video, but unfortunately, for some reason, the podcast host doesn't have the actual full video uploaded, just bits and pieces for I guess promotion purposes on her Instagram. So I listened to it, and the host pointed out that she was tearing up on some parts, but it's like I wept for her. It was one snippet that I played that I wept for her on. Well, actually, I wept on a lot of parts. I wasn't thinking, oh, she's crazy and stuff like that. Like, people think she is psychotic. A lot of it is unheard of, and I wouldn't be, that's not how I would want to do. And I come to realize that, maybe I'm not submissive, and maybe that's just not for me. I like that also, the podcast, so she mentioned how she is in a relationship, and I'll play that part too. But first, I almost forgot. Let me get into what the definition of submissive or submitting in a relationship actually means. So I'm gonna show some definitions on the screen here. So here's the first one. It's basically inclined or ready to submit or yield to the authority of another, unresistantly or humbly obedient. And it also goes to say yielding to the authority of another. Here is another definition. To be submissive is to obey or yield to someone else. That's basically all I kept reading. And the next one said basically a submissive wife is someone who does what she does out of love for her husband. Someone who helps her husband as they work together to achieve their goals. A godly woman. And another, the signs of submissive woman often come with passive-aggressive symptoms. Suppressing desires and opinions doesn't make them go away. The characteristics of submissive wife often include indirectly sharing negative feelings. They haven't gone anywhere just because she's trying to comply. So that last definition is what really got me, because as I listened to more of the podcast, she basically expressed that she doesn't express her needs. It doesn't feel the need to do so. And she says that she picks and chooses her battles, but I didn't hear her anywhere saying that she ever brings up anything that she needs or wants. And she was actually in awe that the podcast host, Sean, was able to do so in her relationship. I'm going to play that clip for you and then give more of my thoughts on it.
This dynamic, I think like my relationship with my partner is very egalitarian. Like we're equals. Like I don't ever feel like I'm giving for the sake of giving, and I'm not receiving for the sake of receiving. I'm receiving being like, well, I deserve this, and I'm giving being like, you deserve this. So there's that exchange happening.
So you speak on, you're like, you tell him the things that you need,
Yeah,
and the things that you feel like you deserve, you'll say that?
100%.
How will you say that?
I need you to step up in these areas. I need to not worry about this. I need to be able to take my brain off this thing. I need more affection. I need more love. If we're going to be sexual, here's the things that I need to like feel more sexual. And in return, I invite that. Like, so we have a lot of conversations.
How does he receive it well?
I think everybody has a problem with being told that they're not doing enough, because we always go to like, well, I'm already doing X, Y, and Z. Right. So I think that there can be, I wouldn't say that he's always arms wide open, but he always adjusts. But so I guess when I'm listening to your relationship style, I'm like, if we kind of broke it down into like to-dos specifically, like what does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
So the awe I heard in her voice, Jazzy's voice, was like, I don't know if it was that she would like to speak up more, or if she was just in awe because she can't believe a woman is actually like that in a relationship. I'm not sure of which that is. I don't think it really matters. It's just the fact that she was in awe, like, you know, that can happen. And she even went on to say that, you know, she has a difficult time advocating for herself and her needs. And I'm not sure what that's about. It could be because she doesn't feel like her needs can be met, or it's because she just finds so much joy in just doing for her man that she doesn't want to rock the boat, so to speak. I'm going to give more and more of my thoughts on this. I'm just really wanting to piece all this together for you all to gather your thoughts so that you can hear mine with an open mind, and then you can take away something for this with an open mind as well. Now, the next clip that I'm about to play is also from the full podcast. This clip, it's the part that made me cry. It made me tear up. And it's not anything sad that she's saying. It's just, I feel for her. You know, let me just play it, and I'm going to continue to give my thoughts after I put everything out there that I want to put out there for you to hear. So, yeah.
And it shouldn't be conditional.
A part of that lack of conditions too means that you do your duty joyfully regardless of what's being done for you.
That's it. I do my duty joyfully regardless of what is happening to and for me. You know, now some days I might be more cheerful than others because I have my own stuff going on. You know, and there's times where it's like, I don't even want to say what's going on with me because again, I know how to deal with me and my pain. You know, I'll cry in the shower and keep it moving, you know. But in the art of submission for me, because I can't speak for everybody, is being joyful about it. You know, that want of, and I think not even just a want, the power of knowing that you have the power to make someone's day better. And that's a choice.
And easier.
Yes, better and easier. That's a choice that you have to make. I always make the choice to do it. I like to give. I like to allow my person to lead. They know, especially like when it translates in the bedroom, I like to feel dominated. You know, riding dick ain't always my favorite position because I like to be taken advantage. Oh my gosh. No, I don't like to be taken advantage of. I like to feel.
That's okay. I like to be degraded.
Yeah.
Those are languages that I like and I accept.
I do. But if I'm comfortable and if I trust you. So just know what that means. Know that dance with your partner.
So the part I weeped on is when she said that she'll just cry in the shower because she's not always cheerful and she has her own thing going on. And to me, that made me weep because I'm like, you should not have to deal with that alone. Just because you can doesn't mean you have to carry that burden alone. And it's not fair. And who knows, her partner may even be receptive to her sharing how she feels and what she needs. But I think because she doesn't want that to get in the way of her role and job as being submissive, so she kind of tones down her needs and what she wants. As you recall, back in the beginning, that's in the definitions, it stated that a woman is basically suppressing her needs in order to meet the needs of her partner. And that's submitting. And a lot of people in the comments on Instagram kept saying, oh, she's getting submissive wrong. It's not servitude. I think they don't understand what being submissive is. And I think a lot of us nowadays are not submissive. And I feel like that's okay. Because to me, I feel like I thought I was submissive, but I'm more like what the host said, egalitarian. We are equals. And it's basically, I'm giving you what you need, and you're giving me what I need and what each other deserve. We're both doing it for each other. We're both equal. And we're both submitting to each other, so to speak. Because me personally, this is nothing against Jazzy, but I be damned if I say I'm tired, but I'm still yet just doing and doing. And I'll be damned if I'm crying in the shower instead of going to my partner. They can always come to me. You know, if I can make your day better, I feel I deserve for you to make my day better as well. And I think she said in some other parts that she feels that she can take care of herself, so to speak. And so now her duty is to take care of her man. And to each their own, but I really weep for her because I feel like she would want it to be different, but maybe she isn't aware of how it can be different. And I want to give another point that I don't even think my man, my husband, would like me if I was that submissive. He cares about me and doesn't want to see me ran in the ground. Like, say if he comes home and I'm tired from doing what I'm doing, I do my creative shit at home, podcasts, uploading stuff, coaching. I do it all. I do a lot of stuff. And sometimes I'm tired. If I don't feel like cooking, I was like, baby, I'm tired. It's never met with disdain or submit to me. You're supposed to, be doing this. I come home from work and you're tired. No, he wants me to voice how I feel. He wants to take care of me. He would not like it if I was only taking care of him. And it's interesting enough, at the end of the full podcast, Sean and her husband and another couple were on there talking about it. And Sean's partner, I think she's just in a relationship. I can't remember, but it doesn't matter, either here or there. In her romantic relationship, he said that I wouldn't want a woman to be submissive like that to me. I have to be, what did he say? He has to be, dang it, what's the word? He said basically he would lose interest. He said he would basically lose interest and he's not inspired by that. That's what he said. He's not inspired by that. He said he had women that was just doing and doing for him and he just wasn't inspired by that. And so what he likes with his partner, with Sean, the podcast host, he was like, that they're an egalitarian and he likes that. He wants to be able to do for you as well. And I just cannot gather that her man is okay with just receiving and not concerned with it if she's getting her needs met. Although I do feel that a bulk of her needs is just to be needed. Like she just wants to be, loved in that way. I think that's the way she views love now. Based off what she said from back in the day when she was hurt and manipulated by someone, her views on love kind of changed. And let me play that clip for you now.
He wasn't my boyfriend. He was just somebody. He was just a really bad person.
Did you go the opposite way? Because it sounds like in that relationship you were submissive, but taken advantage of, manipulated.
Yes.
So after that, did you go the opposite way of becoming more dominant and then reclaiming the submissiveness, or you've just always been this way?
I always just wanted someone to fix it, wanted someone to make it right. I just wanted, I just wanted love all my life. Mm-hmm. So when I wasn't finding the love, or I wasn't getting the love that I wanted, I decided to just give it. And I've been known to love people back to health.
So the part that really stuck out to me is that since she couldn't find the love that she was looking for, she decided to just give it. Now, while I do think it's so beautiful that she did not change her loving and kind giving ways due to being manipulated by someone that took advantage of her, I think that's very, very noble of her and very beautiful. And I love that for her. And I love that for all women that can be that way, not change their ways, due to being hurt by someone and someone taking advantage of how they are. So that part I loved. A lot of parts I did really enjoy. I enjoyed this as a whole. But the thing that is sticking out to me is that I feel like she may have some trauma from that. I don't like to. I'm not going to try to diagnose her. Let me not do that. But I feel like that maybe she doesn't believe that she can speak up for what she needs. And now she mentioned some other things about her love being healing, and she's been known to heal people, and her love being a superpower. I honestly used to feel the same way about myself and my love. And to a certain degree, I still feel that way about it. However, I've realized that that doesn't have to include me going above and beyond, nor does it have to drain me. Like, I don't feel like it should ever be draining at all. I do feel like you can heal within healthy spaces and relationships. You definitely can. She definitely can be healing for that person. But I feel like she doesn't believe that she can actually just hold space for a person. Maybe she doesn't want to. You know, I'm thinking she doesn't want to. I would have to like actually coach her if she wanted that. Not saying she needs help, but I would actually, if I was coaching her, I would get to the underlying reasons of what she's doing and how she feels about it and whatnot. And if she wanted to change anything, I would get to the bottom of that. But it seems like she doesn't want to change anything. So I'm not in the business of telling a woman or telling anyone what they need to change if they don't want to. But what I was getting at is that I don't feel like that has to be draining. Like, for example, in my current marriage, I have healed a lot. But it wasn't at the expense of him being drained because I did a lot of work myself. He just held space for me and vice versa. We hold space for each other. It's like a daily thing. Not saying, I mean, because I feel like you always are healing. So it's like we're holding space for each other. But Jazzy doesn't have anyone to hold space for her. And it's like, I'm not saying that this guy doesn't want to. I don't know anything about him. So I'm not going to, pass judgment on him. But he may not even know how she's feeling about some things. She cries in the shower. That broke my heart. Because I'm like, I have never, since I've been with him, my husband, I've never had to cry alone about any damn thing. And I'm tearing up just talking about it. I don't know why that triggered me so much. I guess it's my own triggers. It has nothing to do with Jazzy. I'm thinking it's because it brought me back to a space in the time that I was in when I was alone with how I felt, how the man was making me feel. And I was alone with what was wrong with me. I had to deal with my shit alone. And just because I learned how to deal with it doesn't mean I deserve to keep dealing with it alone, especially if I'm holding space for the man that I'm with. Because even in my toxic relationships, I was a good woman to those men. If you read my book, Toxic Ex Chronicles, John, then a lot of you know, and a lot of you wanted to kick me, because I was being so good to men that was so shitty to me. But it's like Jazzy said, I've never changed that way. But the thing about it, I did change how I give my love. And she, in her sense, she may consider it conditional. I don't, because I do love unconditionally. I just basically feel that if I'm going to be in this space, I need you to pour into me so that I can continue to pour into you. I have no idea where she gets her strength from to keep pouring and not ever having reciprocation. But I did hear a part of the podcast to where Sean asked her, why do you do this? What makes you want to be submissive to a man? Like, what does he have to do in order for you to want to do this? Do you do this for every man? Basically, she asked her, what makes you want to be this way? Let me see if I have that clip. I'm going to play it.
What are the requirements from a man to bring to Jazzy in order to get this level of love from you?
I think it's how you make me feel. I have to feel safe with you emotionally. You have to excite me. I need edge. So all this cute, soft shit that I need him to be emotionally this, I do need that. But I also need some edge. And I also need a man that is like, like I am a submissive. So like, in a way, my love language in sex is like I like for you to tell me what to do. So sometimes it's like, Jazz, sit your ass down somewhere. It's like, oh shit. What I do? Let me sit down, but it's like someone who is a very, you can be emotional and be soft and things like that, but I still need you to have a little sprinkle of that edge.
Do you need an alpha male?
Yes, only. And and I think men are confused on if they are or not, and if you are confused, you're not one.
So after listening to that, it doesn't sound like a man needs to do too much of anything for them to get that level from her. And it's only to get that level of love from her. And it seems like it's only because she really, really likes dominance. She loves to be told what to do. And I listened to some other parts of the podcast. I don't have a clip, but I'll just tell you what she said. And it was very interesting. They basically were talking about, upbringing. And Jazzy said that her dad was a very, very alpha male. She's Caribbean, I think Jamaican and Trinidadian. And she, like I said earlier, she watched her mom be a service to her husband. And it synced to her dad. And she said that her dad was very, very alpha male type, very dominant type. And she's basically said that, well, actually, Sean, the podcast host, brought up a very good point. She stated that her dad was the same way, but that influenced her to want to be that way as well. Not to be dominant, so to speak, but to be more assertive, I guess, so to speak, is what it sounded like that Sean was saying. And Sean made a good point to Jazzy and stated that, you instead was trying to find someone like your dad so that you can love them like you saw your mother love your dad. And Jazzy was just like, yes, that's it. She's like, that's good. And so, all in all, what I feel like is that if Jazzy is happy with this, then so be it. Who are we to fight her? Not fight her, but who are we to say otherwise? I do feel like she's a little defensive, which understandably so. She posted a clip of this on her Instagram page, and in like bold letters, she was like, I am a joyful servitude and this and that. I joyfully do this. If it ain't your style, don't come for me and all of that. It's like she was already thinking that how this is going to look. And she knows that it's controversial. But I feel like she just can't be or love any other way. I feel like it's just in her. I do feel like there will come a time. I looked up her age as well. She's 33. I was thinking maybe she was in her 20s, but she's like 33. I feel that while she is not in a relationship with someone that's taking advantage of her, I feel like all the man needs to do is show up and be an alpha male and tell her what to do, and she's going to abide. Like she said, as long as, it's how he makes me feel. She didn't state that he has to do anything for her. That, she's there to do it all. Like when, Sean asked her, and what does, being submissive do? What does it mean? What does a woman do for men? And she said everything. And so Jazzy is under the impression and in the mindset that, it doesn't matter what you bring, as long as you are an alpha male that doesn't have a broke mindset. She did state that she doesn't want one with a broke mindset, meaning it doesn't matter how much money, but don't have that broke mentality as well. She can't get with that, but as long as, she was more so on the lines of saying that as long as you are an alpha male, which I'm still not hearing how this man treats her. Not one time during this whole podcast that I listened to did she say anything about what he does for her. Not one time. Not one time at all. The part when she was like, the laundry's done, dishes done, and all that. In my head, I'm thinking like, CJ, well, my husband does his own laundry, and I cook, he cleans. It's equal. It's like I couldn't have that weight on me. I'm just not in the business. It's not from a mindset of I don't want to be taken advantage of, or he doesn't deserve that. I can't do that. I need to be poured into so that I can pour. I feel I deserve to feel the way that I pour. I feel my needs matter just as much as my partners matter. And you know what? Like I said before, I think, 90% of the women population are not submissive. And it's so funny because even on the Instagram page, I'm going to leaving comments, like, just watch the whole thing. And I'm, having conversation with some of the other women on there. Nothing catty. I'm not a catty person. Y'all know that. But I'm just and if you're catty, I'm not going to even respond. I don't respond to cattiness. I don't respond to anyone telling me what to do. Nothing. It's just a disclaimer. But anyway, so on there, on the actual podcast Instagram, which is listed in the, up there, I was stating that, everyone was like, oh, this is so beautiful. Especially when you're getting reciprocated. It makes you excited to do for your man because you're going to get reciprocation and you're going to get, the same thing. And I'm like, but she's not getting reciprocation. She's actually what the true definition of a submissive woman is. And I also wonder if she knows her true value outside of what she can do for a man, because it almost feels like that she only sees her value in what she can do for someone and how she can serve them, and that she says she is a joyful server and it gives her joy to serve her man. And so I'm wondering if she actually knows her worth outside of that. Now, she is a phenomenal woman and she, hustles, get work done. If you don't know her, she does, stand-up comedy. She does, I think she does jokes. She does a lot. I'm drawing a blank right now about what she does. I know what she does, but I can't think of it. But she has that hustler mentality. She's a go-getter. She works hard and stuff. And maybe she knows her value when it comes to that and what she's worth. But I wonder if inside of a relationship, maybe she doesn't quite know how to be of any value to a man if she's not doing anything for them. So it's like a lot of questions raised here that wasn't really answered on the podcast. And it's just something that I want you all to think about before you think about being submissive or what you want to do for a man. Think about if you really truly know your inherent value of who you are just as a person alone for all that you embody. Do you know that value outside of what you can do for someone? Because you can't just do for everyone. You're more valuable than that. And that's what I wonder if she realizes any of that. So I ask of you all listening to this to determine what you want and if you are really submissive like you think you are, or if you really want to be submissive. Because, there's an argument nowadays that, the woman should be submissive and this and that. And I feel it's really been skewed about what that is. Like, a lot of us are not. This podcast gathered me and pulled some edges out. And I'm glad I kept an open mind about it. It was very interesting, to say the least, just to listen to. And I'm like, okay, I'm not submissive. I'm not. And I'm okay with that. And if Jazzy is okay with being submissive, that's what makes her happy. Then, because to be honest, although some parts I heard that she was like, wow, about speaking up for your needs. And she was like, she was saying even that she loves that for Sean and how she can do that. And, how she was just, in awe over some of the things that she was stating, how it works in an egalitarian relationship. She still genuinely seems happy to just be doing for her man. And I think it's because she genuinely likes men like her dad that are just dominant and just powerful and just alpha male type, telling her what to do. She likes that. And I feel like the only way that anyone would like that, the only way that relationship would work is if one is more dominant and one is submissive. That's the only way. So that's what makes her happy. I don't feel like she would be happy in a softer relationship to where someone is actually being soft with her. Like she said, she needs edge. Like a little softness is fine, but she more so wants that edge. And while I will say that it can be a turn on to have a man with that type of edge, but to me, I feel like that can only last so long with someone like me, and probably a lot of women. That can only last for so long to where I'm like, okay, hold up. I need some affection, some emotional availability. I need, you to hear me too. It's not just about me hearing you. Like, that shit is kind of cute, kind of sexy sometimes, maybe in the bedroom, but I need you to tone it down and talk to me like I'm an equal, but hey. So, that's all I got for this Friday's episode, girlfriends. So, to wrap it up, What does Kendall say? Kendall says it is very important for each woman to determine what's best for her in the relationship and if she's getting her needs met, whatever those needs may be. We all may have different standards. We all may have different things we need. And I'm never going to be the one, and y'all know that if you follow me on my I've Been That Girl 2 page on Instagram, I'm never ever going to tell you what your standards should be or how you should be. Now, say if Jazzy came to me and was like, I'm not getting what I need at this relationship. I want to be able to express my needs more. I want to be able to advocate for myself more. Then, okay, let's talk. Let's get to the root of some things. I feel there's a healthy medium, but she says she doesn't want that healthy medium. She wants to be what she's doing. So, Kendall says, hey, Jazzy, do your thing, girl. I weeped for you, but that's because I weep for all women, but I realize I can't want that for all women. So, ladies, anyone listening to this, if you feel like you want to be submissive, like in her sense, hey, no judgment, do you? If that makes you happy, that's the type of relationship you want. So, I like doing these because I like really opening our minds to what we really want and realizing, what that is and what that means and what that entails. So, Kendall says, Jazzy, do your thing, girl. If that's what makes you happy, go ahead. And everyone else, figure out what you want. But I bet you after listening to this, y'all realize y'all ain't submissive. If you thought you were, thought you wanted that. So, just wanted to open your minds a little bit with that. So, that's all I got for this Friday's episodes. Tune in every Friday to where I give you the scoop on any type of viral video, anything that's, peak of my interest, anything that I feel, I like things that I can actually have an open mind to and hear both sides. I'm never the type to bash. I'm never the type to judge. I'm not going to get in here and talk crazy about anybody, any woman. I might talk crazy about a man, but I feel like maybe that's because I'm a bit of a misandrist. Maybe a bit of that. I'm still in the air about that. But I really do fight for women. I really do feel for women. And I love women. I love women more than I love men. And that's that on that. So I like having discussions like this where they're very open. So if you got some you want me to talk about or you see something viral, send it to me or mention it in the comments. You can actually send it to me on my I've Been That Girl 2 DMs. I do check DMs. I'm not the type to be like, I don't check DMs. I don't give really advice, but I do check it. I do talk to y'all. So if you got something you want me to talk about and it's kind of viral or it's controversial, I want to talk about it because I like open-minded things like this. So that's all I got, girlfriends, and to everybody else on YouTube. And to the next episode on next Friday. Peace out.